Mega Ron and everybody, it is Poteen with another rotation video for YouTube. I am playing Lord of the Rings, obviously. I am playing a Yellow Line RUNE-KEEPER. So the first thing we'll go through the class traits, the racials, the virtues, then my allies, why I choose them, a rotation that I use, and then we'll go do some combat. We'll fight probably to the first boss for sure, maybe to the second boss, but there's two of those, and it's pretty nasty. So if we go pretty smoothly, we may go to the second boss, but I doubt we'll be able to beat it. I think that's everything we're going to be doing today. If you like this content, by the way, I'm no expert at this. This is just a rotation that I use and I find that works well. If you do like this content, please remember to subscribe. Also, I'm on Twitch usually daily, except for on Sundays. I will be playing LOTRO. Every once in a while, I'm playing Lower Elder Scrolls or something else, but usually it's just Lord of the Rings. All right, so let's start off. So this one is called Solitary Thunder. So this is a short-range instant damage. Instant damage means I can move around while I'm doing it. So basically some kiting and stuff. So I do use Q and E. That's kind of how I move around the mobs. It's the strife abilities. Okay, so the first thing I do is Ceaseless Argument. This is just a straight up damage. It has a 0.3 second cooldown, so it's pretty nice. The range is 20, so it's pretty medium range. To longer, I guess. I am using Exacting Ward, so this is my critical defense is up. Confounding Principles. This increases my shocking touch days. You will see me use that quite a bit. I don't like mobs getting close to me. When I pull multiples, I will usually shocking touch one, or if I kill the first mob and then I go on to the second one. I like to have the little stuns just to kind of control a little bit, and so that so much damage isn't coming in at once. This is Cutting Remarks, so this increases my tactical critical chance. So tactical is going to be like your range shooting things. Spells, things like that. I do have Fortune Smiles. This is going to be a Fate increase. If you don't know what Fate does, you can go up here. So Fate is for the RUNE-KEEPER. Fate increases the maximum power and out of combat region. Now we're down to this one. This is going to be Folgerite Ruin Stone. So this is going to be my shocking Ruin Stone, my area effect shocking stone. I'll show you a quick way. If you just double tap, which mine's on Shift E, if you just double tap it quickly, you put your mouse kind of where you want it, and you can place it pretty rapidly. Thunderous Words, so this gives me a chance of every lightning skill has a chance of 20% chance for every lightning skill. So it buffs the critical chance. Okay. Fury of Storm critical chance. So it is going to be on a 20-second duration. So it will increase. So I have a 20% chance of every lightning skill to give me 20% critical hit rating, which are called Fury of Storm. I'll show you that too. I think it goes up by 5s in increments. You'll see it above my head. So there'll be these lightning. First it starts off with like a little ball, then it starts off as another one, then they meet in the middle, so it should increase by increments of 5% all the way up to 20%. Statically charged, so when the stone is thrown down, it slows nearby enemies and deals more damage. Max makes the stone ground targeted, which is what I have it all the way up to. Otherwise, it just drops it extra. Epic Conclusion, this is an amazing ability. You will see me use this quite a bit. It is a very powerful, it needs battle attunement. That's what makes I'll show you that too. That's what makes the RUNE-KEEPER the RUNE-KEEPER. And then it returns all my stuff back to neutral. So that's good to know, because there's going to be a couple abilities that does that. This is another one that returns it, Shocking Words. Those are the two, and I believe... No, this one, Sustaining Bolt, will actually become more powerful as it's deeper into your attunement. Harsh Debates, lightning skills have a chance of briefly buffing tactical damage. This is a nice one. Vivid Imagery is an area effect, very close range daze. It also does some damage, but it's a way for if I pull accidentally too many, or I have to do a multiple pull. You will see me using this quite a bit. just to kind of, like I said, same thing, just kind of control the mobs, decide where I want to go. Closing remarks. So this one is both buffs become active on Ruin, so you get Thunderous Words and Harsh Debate. They become one buff that can be consumed by Epic Conclusion to increase its damage. So obviously, we're going to do that if we can. So the two buffs that we just previously mentioned, when they come together, you can do closing remarks. And when you do that, you want to access Epic Conclusion, and that will destroy quite a bit. So I'll just read the whole thing so it kind of makes sense. When both buffs become active on the RUNE-KEEPER, they become one buff that can be consumed by Epic Conclusion to increase its damage and reduce its cooldown. If consumed in this manner, the closing remarks buff will be replaced by Aftershock. Furious Storms. So every lightning skill. This is the one I previously mentioned. Every lightning skill stacks on the Fury of Storm RUNE-KEEPER. Increases the critical chance for the next attack. The critical chance will be consumed with this effect. So I do get stacks of 5. Stays on for 20 or 5. Was it 15 seconds? I believe it's 15 seconds. 9 seconds. Once it's out of combat, then it will deteriorate after 9 seconds. So this increases the number of target with vivid imagery, which is going to be my area effect, days, and damage. Concussion of rebuttal, concessions and rebuttal. So this one I will use. What it does is when I use it, it's going to increase some of the abilities. So it does have a 3-minute cooldown, so you won't see me use it a lot, probably on bosses mostly. I do like to use it with Sustaining Bolt, because Sustaining Bolt will increase my morale. When I use Sustaining Bolt, I actually get some morale and power back. Rite of Lightning applies a max rate debuff, builds double battle attunement. Epic Conclusion leaves a trailing dot for a portion of the damage dealt, and Shocking Words becomes an area effect that slows targets after being stunned. So that's kind of nice. So it basically makes my other abilities more powerful. Flashing Imagery, using this skill will return you to neutral and will cause Steady Hands to trigger again. So for a short duration after using Steady Hands to switch attunement, using a skill to return to neutral. So you'll see it, that's down here. Okay, I do go into a couple other ones. Obviously, like I said, a main yellow. I did put some into debilitating address because I like the tactical damage. I did put some into will. So determination, I'll probably max out because the will is huge. I'll show you what will does here. For a RUNE-KEEPER, it increases your tactical mastery, critical rate, physical mitigation, tactical mitigation, resistance, and evade rate. All right. And then this one, I always like to have mending verse because I always get Prelude of Hope anyway, but I like to have a little mending verse with it. It just always increases it. So I almost every one of my abilities, blue and red, I also have. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the sidebars here. Lightning Affinity, so 20% to Fury of Storm damage. Shocked, Rite of Lightning increases enemy induction by 8% and attack duration by 5 per tier. Master of Tragedy, lightning skills restore a maximum amount of power. Tail of the Storm, critical chance per battle attunement pip, and critical damage per battle attunement. Sustenance. Sustaining Bolt also heals you, so that's nice. Refutation is every lightning skill. Every lightning skill on critical hitting, every lightning skill will penetrate 10% of the target's tactical mitigation. And then Static Surge, which is going to be an area effect. Big hit, only has a 3-second cooldown. It does do area effect up to 10 targets. So this is a nice one. Things should drop pretty easily here. So that is the class traits I use. Next, we'll go to racials. I'll read them all, even the ones I don't have, and then I'll tell you the ones I have. This is nimble-handed, so this is going to be axes, two-handed, and daggers are increased. Fire-type damage, obviously, I want to use that one. I don't, because I want to use it on Redline. I don't care about this one. Unwritten Destiny, so it gives my vitality up. This one is Flame Tempered, Fire Mitigation. So this one is Virtuous Stout Axe. This is just the Stout Axe. By the way, this is a Dwarf Stout Axe. So my wit, determination, and fortitude all are increased by 1, besides what I already have. Needful integrity is crafting experience modifier. Travel to Thorin's Hall. I don't really have that one yet. Stout Shield. I probably won't use it just because the cooldown's 30 minutes, but maybe if I get in a lot of trouble. And then Fortitude of the Stout Axe, which gives me +1 to Shadow Mitigation. So the ones I'm going to be using is going to be Unwritten Destiny, Fortitude of the Stout Axe, Flame Tempered, Virtuous Stout, and Stout Shield. So those are the racials. The next ones is going to be the virtues. So mostly I went with damage lineup. So with that, I have confidence, which is going to be critical rating. I'm not going to put the numbers on there because it's going to change depending on the ranking. I'm just going to tell you what they do. Critical rating, finesse rating, evade rating. And then the bonuses are, these are passive bonuses, is physical mastery and tactical mastery. Wisdom, will, tactical mastery, finesse rating, and then passive bonuses are physical mastery and tactical mastery. Honesty is going to be tactical mastery rating, will, critical rating, physical mastery rating, and tactical mastery rating. Mercy is going to be evade rating, fate, vitality, and max morale. The max morale is my passive bonus. And patience, which is going to be max power, evade rating, critical rating, and max morale. That's my passive bonus. Why I did those is I also, because I'm going to be getting closer to the target, I decided to go with a little more, a beefier build, just in case things get near me. I can take a couple more hits, before it gets crazy. Okay, on to the LIs. I'm going to be using a Zap. I call it Zap still. So I'm using Heraldry of the Eagle, which is going to give you will, vitality, tactical mastery, single target attack critical. So this is going to be single target attack critical chance, single target attack critical magnitude, and critical rating. Ceaseless argument damage. So ceaseless argument damage is increased and critical rating is increased. Scribe spark damage and cooldown. So my Scribe Spark damage is increased, and the cooldown of Spark and Prelude to Hope have lowered their cooldowns, and which means they regenerate faster. You can use them more. Critical rating and sustain bolt damage. So sustaining bolt damage is increased, and outgoing healing rating is increased. Also, I did Ascendant Lightning, which is going to be just critical rating. All right, for my bag. Heraldry of the Eagle again, which is going to be will, vitality, tactical mastery rating. Single target attack damage. So single target attack damage is increased, physical mastery rating, and tactical mastery rating. Epic conclusion damage. My epic conclusion damage is increased. Tactical mastery rating is increased. Vivid imagery damage. I do like vivid imagery. I will use it quite a bit. Like I said, especially in this one, this is a 6-man instance, so I will be having pulls that are a little rough. So that's a good way to stop that. What that does is vivid imagery damage is increased and finesse rating is increased. Shocking words, this is the stun one I like. Shocking words damage is increased and critical rating is increased. And my last slot is critical rating is increased. Okay, so let's go through our rotations. We're going to have kind of 2 different rotations. One for single target and one for multiple targets. So the first one, I like to run just right through my 1 through 4. I do go to 5, but I try to keep it through 1 through 4 so my fingers can kind of use it. 5, I like to reach over. 6 isn't really a problem, but after that, I got to kind of use the other hand to get on the other side of the keyboard. So Rite of Lightning, this is going to be an increase, but it's also a debuff. Tactical mitigation is debuffed. All skill inductions are increased, so it makes them longer for their skills to be done, and attack duration is increased, so kind of like a lull or slows their attack down. And this can be stacked up to 3 times. Then I like to use 2, which is Ceaseless Argument, obviously just a straight up single target damage. After that, I like to use Scribe Spark, which is also just another single target damage. But these are increasing my attunements. So this one increases it by 3, this one by 1, and this one by 2, and this one by 3. This is Summons an Essence of Thundercloud, so this is just another straight single target damage. So those are the 4. By then, I should have access to Epic Conclusion or Shocking Words, depend on which one I want to do. Shocking Words is going to give you a stun too, and it does a lot of damage. And obviously, Conclusion does a lot more damage. Both of these return them back to the neutral attunement, so it will put them back here. I guess I should explain this. This is the attunement bar. When it starts going to the left, or the battle attunement, this is gonna, my abilities will start doing a lot more damage. If I start going to the right or the healing attunement, that's gonna increases my healings and stuff. I will heal myself a little bit. I do have a couple of shields and stuff. Okay, if stuff gets crazy, this is the other one. This is Sustaining Bolt. This is a nice one. It can be used at any time, has a 15-second cooldown, but it does heal and regain some power. But it does become a lot stronger when your battle attunement is really high up. I do have Shocking Touch. This is the one that will daze them for 10 seconds, does a little bit of damage. So the difference in this game between a daze and a stun. Daze is almost always 100% breakable chance, so if you do any damage at all with them, it will break the daze. Stun, it does not break the stun. Damage does not break stuns. So that's kind of a key thing to remember, especially when you start getting into crowd control and stuff like that. Or if you're soloing with a crowd control character, just stuns are more effective if you don't want to get hit. But dazes are usually a little bit longer, but they can be broken. Okay, then I do have Concession and Rebuttal. This is that one that's going to increase sustain, Rite of Lightning, Epic Conclusion, and Shocking Words. Self-Motivation, I don't use it too much, but it does restore some power. So if I'm low on power, I'll do it, but for the most part, you might not see it too much. This is going to be another ability I probably won't use. It has a big cooldown, but and it has a big induction, but it does have a lot of benefits if you do want to use them. So you might use them on big mobs, things like that. Chilling Rhetoric, probably also won't use this. Okay, so Static Surge is the area effect big damager. But I like to use these other two first. Obviously, Vivid Imagery is going to be your daze. So it's awesome to use this, then set it up right after then Static Surge after that. And then Essence of Storm if you want, or Essence of Winter. So these are my area effect abilities I'm using. You will see me heal myself with Prelude. This is my stone. This is my area effect lightning stone. So I will kind of put my mouse over here. I'll make sure I'm not against a wall, and I'll drop my stone pretty quickly. So Prelude to Hope is going to be kind of my get out of jail card. It's an instant heal. I can do it while I'm moving. This one I will have to stop and use, but it is a much bigger heal with a hot. Scribe, a new ending. This is the one that's going to get off my diseases, wounds, fear, poisons, things like that. Armor of Elements. It's another big cooldown, but it is a great ability to make sure my damage isn't being hit as much. It will give me a bubble, a morale bubble. So I will probably use it on bosses and stuff. Epic of the Ages. These ones will let me access a bigger heal. And then this one is one, hopefully you see me use Word of Exaltation. This is going to be a morale bubble. But I do have to access my healing attunement in order for that to happen. I do have pots, things like that, so we'll see if they are used. But for the most part, we're just going to go straight forward. We're going to go single target damage. Each one of the mobs might drop a worm, and then area effect, I'll show you how we do that. But it's going to be pretty straightforward. This class is just pretty damaging. I'll probably move a lot just because that's kind of the thing that makes this class special. There we go. And that was Shocking Words, and obviously did a little stun. I'm going to do a little heal here. Alright, so this one, I don't want to use my area effect too soon. And I'll show you why here. There's that one, that's going to be a daze. I'm going to switch to a single target here. Let's drop our stone. There's the next one. Boom, there's the area effect one, and then we'll just go to single target again. So what I did there is I went in, I threw this because it has better range. I threw Essence of Storm first. It pulled them near me. When they got near me, I used Vivid Imagery to daze them. Then I single targeted one of them out. Then I backed up into my stone, which I dropped quickly. Then I went into the single target stuff until I could access Static Surge. But Static Surge has a low range, so that's why I moved in close. I Static Surged them and then dropped the rest of them. Now this one, I'll probably just single target them all one at a time. So you will see me use 1 through 4, and then use different finishers here. That was Epic Conclusion. This is going to be Shocking Words. This one I'm going to be using, I'll probably just go all the way through. This one is going to be Sustained Bolt, which is also going to heal me a bit. But you see above my head, the electricity, that is actually a buff of 5, which I'll show you here. So it's Epic Conclusion. And there's a Furious Storm. Now it's at 3, and that will give me a 15%. I think it tiers up to 4, which is going to be 20%. Same thing here. We're going to try to use this. Then we're going to try to use Epic. Shocking Words. If I can use Shocking Words, it'll get them to stop spawning this little barrier, or this little crawler. But I was not. Alas, I was not. This is where we're going to see some area effect again. I'm going to obviously pull using this. Drop my stone. Area effect. And then single target. Boom. Boom. There we go. Get that off me. I'm gonna heal myself a bit here. Because it's hot. Alright. Let's pull these ones, same thing again. My stone should be ready. So I'm gonna pull. Got my stone. Vivid Imagery. I missed that because I'm dumb. There we go. As you can see, my Storm Furious is full. When it's full, it should be at 2. But when that thing above your head, it's letting you know that you can now access a very powerful spell. Oh, I didn't get it off. Alright, there we go. Right there it is. See, it's above my head now. This lets me know that I can do my closing arguments. This light above my head. So that's when you know you've stacked it up enough you can actually access. You can do that bonus one I was talking about. You want to take up both? Might as well. There we go. There we go. Now let's see how much bonus we get from it. There. So that hit me for 700. We're going to do shock there. So that's a static shock. Or shocking touch. We're going to stun him. Not quite powerful enough for that. I mean, when I pull these two, like I pulled 2, it's going to turn into 4 because of those words. Alright, same thing here. We got our stone. That's gonna heal a little bit. And now it's letting me know I have access to, like if I use Epic Conclusion here, I get that bonus. I like to use Sustaining Bolt on that because I get the bonus to morale, which I like. This should be an area effect. This is going to be a crowd again. Absolutely. Alright, so same thing. Well, this guy, he's got a little bit of something, so I'm going to stun him. Boom. Let's get it going. Let's get it going here. Same thing, we're going to kind of roll around here. There we go. See that one? That time I healed for 900. We're going to stun. Now you're going to see how I kited there a little bit. I haven't been really doing that, but you can kite in this area. And obviously when you're out of environment, you should kite. One of these is supposed to turn this way. There he is. Let's do this. We're going to do Shocking Touch because he's surprising us. Sustaining Bolt. There you go. Gotta get that off me. So obviously you can do a lot better if you are kiting or kind of, strafing. But I didn't want to pull this guy. Oh, I tried to stop before you can spawn a world, but what can you do? You can't stop him, And I do use this area effect one occasionally if it's by itself, Static Surge, which you saw me use there. Okay, this guy, if you wait till the right time, and this guy in the back isn't by there, if you stand by the stone, you will pull this guy by himself. Boom, okay, we stopped him from spawning as an extra little minion. I don't want to brag, but that's kind of like... Alright, so this one, I think we're going to try to pull him from here. There we go, we grab this cat. Now we're going to do this guy. And then we'll take out the last caller. We'll stun him. See if our Sustaining Bolt is good. Let's stop him. Boom. We wanted to stop him from spawning, which we did. So we'll wait for that cooldown to go down. Alright, this guy, I'm pretty sure we all know what the caller does. He is going to attack, then he's going to spawn 2 people. So I'm going to use Vivid Imagery for that. That's what I'm waiting for cooldown there. Then I'll finish off the 2 ads. Then I'll fight him until he turns green. When he turns green, a bunch of worms are going to come out. 2 are very deadly. The rest of them kind of just explode around you. Alright, so let's... try to get epic. It won't be enough of that, but we probably will in battle. So here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to do Vivid Imagery. I'm going to finish this guy off. There we go. Alright, let's throw that one while we're running around. We're going to do Shocking Touch because we don't want him attacking us right now. We're going to cleanse myself. And that, we're going to obviously throw down a stone. Alright, let's do Shocking Words. We're going to try to just control up the bullseye. There we go. We got him down to green. Now, we're going to finish this cat off first. There he is. We're going to drop our stones. There we go. We're going to try to drop this guy fast. We're going to do that there. We're going to try to do some bolts. There we go. Once again, just kind of dancing around. Alright, there we go. Now we're just going to hot our way through here. Because these guys are all dead. They don't know it yet, but they're dead. There we are. So, not too bad. I think we're going to go tackle the next guy. If we don't survive that one, I'm going to do my rotation recap. And then that'll be it. This is with the new format where I'm talking about traits and stuff. This will be the last class I have. And then I'll start doing the alternate lines. There we go. That and a hot on the side. I think there's a guy around here somewhere. There he is. It resisted me. Just come out of saddle. We're going to do both here because this is going to be a pretty big fort. So we'll probably drop our stone once they start to come after us here. He is attacking the stone. Plus, once you see all that lightning above my head, that is literally the time I can do the max amount of damage. I will just unleash on it. I believe it's part of the Fury Storm. Fury. Uh-oh. We're in trouble now. You guys are baddies. Control 7. We need to get out of here with some heals. No, I don't need a stun. Okay, we're gonna run. We're gonna run. Ah! I pulled 3. I wanted 2, but I didn't see that guy around the corner. That is 100% on me. And I didn't have my stuns up, so... If that one guy hadn't lurked behind the vivid imagery, I would have hit all 3 of them, and that would have been enough, but... What are you going to do? Vivid imagery has a very short range. So, know that. I guess I could have hit 9, maybe. That might have saved me. That might have saved me. We'll see. We'll see. How long does that last? Let's just see. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Alright, let's do this. 9 probably would have saved me. I mean, I could have used Shift 0, which would have turned my 2 men completely upside down. Where's this guy at? Did I kill one? Is that what's happening? Must be what's happening. Yep. He gave birth to a worm. I'm just gonna blast this worm with epic. Go. Obviously better at single target than 3 targets at a time. Only because I don't have a ton of... I only have like 3 area effects skills. If I had more, that might change it. So really you want to kind of separate them, which was what I was doing with my studs and stuff. And that one was just a bad one. Is there more here? I thought there was. Maybe I just always run through it. We're running around. Now this is going to be a pretty ugly one. If I remember, this is a nasty little hole. And it's right before the 2 bosses. I should be able to drop one. Heal there. Let's do everything. Try to hit him as hard as we can. So still kiting him. About to stun this guy. Oh, I didn't want to get another one out. Alright, here we go. Alright, so there that was, like I told you, nasty little bowl. I knew it would be. I do not think I'll be able to kill these guys. So there's 2 brothers here. They're both undead. One of them is going to activate first. He summons a bunch of stuff. Also a range attacker, so a real pain. And the other guy's just brutal, but we probably won't even get to see that guy. Alright, here we go. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. to spawn a bunch of people. He's healing himself. That's good. I like that. I was a little worried he wouldn't be able to heal himself. He heals himself. There it is. All right. So obviously, too many mobs. All right. So with that, I'm gonna just go through the rotation again. Obviously, when I'm doing single target, I do Rite of Lightning, Ceaseless Argument, Scribe Spark, Essence of Storm. By then, usually Epic Conclusion is enough, but it's built up enough attunement that this does pretty good damage. Should finish them. If it doesn't, just hit one or two of these again, and Shocking Word should happen, and it'll give you a 1 second stun, which is what I was doing to stop the worms from being spawned. Same thing. This one, you can use it anytime, but it is more powerful when the battle attunement is deep. If stuff gets near me, I like to use Shocking Touch, which is obviously a 10-second single target daze, though. For area effects, I like to pull with Essence of Storm, then use Vivid Imagery to daze up to 8 targets. Then I'm trying to build this back up in order to use it, but you got to be very close. So these two have to be very close range: Vivid Imagery and Static Surge. So yeah, once I build these up enough, I usually go to 3 or 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you can use Epic Conclusion. This will obviously put your battle attunement back in the middle, so remember that. Shocking Words, same thing, gonna do much more damage, but it'll attune it in the middle, does 1 second. Same thing for this one too. You can do more damage, but it does not go back to the center. So you can use this before you use the other abilities. Because it doesn't consume or it doesn't neutralize your attunement. But it does switch it to three attunements to the middle, so you will lose a little bit of power when you're using this first. I didn't really use these abilities. I did touch into Armor of the Elements. So my heals are Prelude to Hope and Mending Verse. Obviously a little bit weak because of the build I'm in, Yellow Line. Scribe a new ending. This is going to get rid of your disease wound for you. You can do this while you're running too, which is nice. I didn't really get into these, but sometimes you do. I was dropping my Shock Stone quite a bit. And like I said, a fast way to do that is put your mouse somewhere and then just press Shift 8 twice and see it drops it immediately. Or if you have it on, like, let's just say you have it on the 5 button. Alright, we'll just show you here real fast. So you have it on the 5 button, we'll wait for the cooldown, and then you can do the same thing. I did use my Fortitude of the Stout Axe. I did use Stout Shield when I felt like I was getting dangerous, but here, I'll put it over here, and now I'll press 5 again. See, it dropped it real fast. So that's kind of a trick you can use. You didn't see me use self-motivation but once, and that's just for a heal. And that was about it. I did have Break the Bonds. This is the one that breaks stuns, roots, dazes, things like that. But I really didn't use it. I didn't really get stunned, but I think once. So there it is. If you like the rotation, any of that, leave comments. If you want to chat with me, you can whisper me on Twitch. You can contact me on Discord, message me on there. Or you can leave a comment on the YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the likes and subs. We're almost to 1,000. When we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we will be having a giveaway. So make sure you join us on there. I do stream daily except for Sunday. I stream on YouTube and Twitch, so make sure to check that out. We're looking at TikTok. We'll see how that works. And apparently there's an Instagram stream. I don't know. I don't know if that'll work out. Other than that, if you have any questions, things like that, like I said, just contact me. I do love talking about rotations. I love talking about character builds. It's absolutely fun to me. I think that is about it. Yeah, so may the hairs on your toes grow ever longer. Thank you guys so much for watching. It has been wonderful for everybody helping me out on Twitch, everybody helping me out on YouTube, all the social medias. You guys make all of this content worth making. So thank you guys so much. All right. right, I'll see you in the next video.